Hi everyone, Aidan here at the etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Premium and seeing how it fits on the back of our 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe. This is going to be a hanging style bike rack, and what that means is the bike hangs by the frame. Two attachment points up top with straps holding it down in the cradles, and a third one on the seat post, keeping our sway down to a minimum. It doesn't entirely eliminate it, especially these rubber straps. They've got a bit of stretch to them, so it doesn't completely fix the problem, but it will help with bike-to-bike contact as we're going down the road. Hanging style bike racks inherently are going to have a few more limitations to them, and this one is no different. Carbon frame bikes are going to be an automatic no-go. Frame contact with those carbon frame bikes just isn't going to be a good mix because it can damage them. With alternative frame bikes and kids bikes, you're probably going to need a bike adapter bar, although with the kids bikes, it's much less likely that you'll need it because these arms at the end actually narrow together. Typically, those smaller frames on the kids bike have a tough time fitting over this dual arm design, but because the arms taper, this makes it a lot more accommodating. Like I said, this isn't a fix for all kids bikes. We've had some people in the shop where their own kids bikes didn't fit on this rack, so in those cases a bike adapter bar might be needed. And with this, the other thing to keep in mind is weight capacity. This 4-bike carrier can carry up to 180 pounds total, so that's all throughout the 4 cradles here. Obviously, your adult bikes on the end are probably going to be a little bit heavier than those kids bikes. Just make sure the grand total is under 180. And if you find yourself needing a bit more capacity, CURT does make a 5-bike version of this that adds an additional kid cradle and bumps the weight capacity up to a total of 225 pounds. So if you need that extra bit, you can get it. Getting the bike unloaded is pretty straightforward. Those rubber straps will just pull off of these tabs and set off to the side, do the tops and that side, and then we can pop the bike off, feeding it off of those arms. And with the height of the hitch on your Santa Fe, it doesn't put everything at too uncomfortable a height. Some cars you'll notice that the arms are kind of up by your neck, which makes it hard to load and unload. Right here is looking pretty good. I'll set this to the side, and we can take a closer look at the tilting feature. The rack does tilt away from the vehicle when bikes are unloaded to gain access to the back of your Santa Fe. To do that, you'll go to the bottom, and there's going to be a number of different points here. First, we're going to have this hand knob at the very back end that we need to loosen. This pushes against the mast and keeps it a little bit more still, so you can see when I've got it loosened, there's a lot more movement. Then we've got a pin and clip going through the side and a pull pin at the back. That pull pin is our last step. Lift it up, let the rack tilt down, and you've got access to your cargo area. And the reason we have to get bikes unloaded is because they'd be making contact with the ground at this point. Plus, the rack's just not built to withstand the weight of the bikes tilting down like that. But if you are taking this rack from point A to point B, get to the park, you need something out of the back, while your bikes are unloaded, you can get what you need. Maybe not the best choice for long trips where you might need access at a gas station or something going down the road, because getting everything unloaded is kind of a pain just to get something quickly out of the back. So it's something to keep in mind if you're looking at this. If you do plan on using it for long trips, a platform style rack might be the better option for you, because some of those do have the ability to tilt away with the bikes loaded. Not all, so do be sure to check out our website and find one that does. Now, once all those are tightened back up, that mast is pretty still. There's still a little bit of movement there, but with all the moving parts, they're not going to totally eliminate that. And we can get some measurements, starting off with our distance added to the back. This is a 4-bike rack after all, and those arms do add some length to the back of the Santa Fe. Coming in right at 34 inches from the back bumper, it's actually pretty solid. Keep in mind that with the 5-bike version, it's going to stick out further, but if we want to leave it in the hitch between rides and save some space, we can actually go to the top where there's a pin and retaining clip that just pop out, fold the arms down, and re-secure that with the newly aligned holes at the bottom. And this is going to be our storage position. In this state, it's only going to be sticking out 11.5 inches now. A lot more compact and easy to drive around with, pull into parking spots, things like that. One thing I will say with it in this position though is your clearance issues. So it's a pretty obstruction-free bike rack. You can still see your license plate pretty well through here because the arms do widen out right here. And your backup camera is a little bit offset, so you might get some visibility through here. I wouldn't count on it because this is going to be in the way quite a bit, but at the very least, you're going to be able to see your license plate and your taillights are unobstructed. Plus, it doesn't stick up any higher than your wiper does on the back windshield. Moving down to the bottom, it's working with our 2" by 2" receiver tube and uses an anti-rattle bolt to keep things solid in the hitch. No shaker play in that receiver tube, and it just uses a standard clip on the other side to secure. So no lock. You can add one and upgrade it after the fact and find that here at eTrailer if you want, but out of the box, you're just going to get that clip, which will do. I'll pop that back in. And overall, I do think it's a pretty solid option for a hanging rack. The fact that it's got that accommodation for kids' bikes right out of the box is pretty nice. Personally, I like some other options. If you're looking for ease of use in a hanging rack, something like the Yakima Ridgeback might be nice because it uses levers instead of pins and clips, and it's a little more solid. Or you can go for something like the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4-bike rack. That's a platform-style bike rack that's more accommodating for the alternative frame bikes, and in our testing we found it actually works a little bit better for kids bikes in some cases. So if you're worried about this one and you have those really small kids bikes, then that might be the way to go for you. Plus, I think it's a little bit easier to load. But really it just comes down to what you're looking for in a bike rack. Whichever one you go with, I think it's going to be a solid fit on the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe. Thanks for watching.